Alright guys, so we're back again, and we are going to rebuild this flipper assembly right here. Just so you know, I already went and rebuilt that flipper assembly right there. Yeah, that spring, the return spring, is not reattached yet. That's because the flipper hasn't been reinstalled, because we still have to do work on the playfield's upper side yet. I went through and did the slingshot coils already, so I'm sorry I didn't record that. They're pretty basic. Plus, there's just so many different things to record on this pinball machine while I'm working on it that I can't cover it all and get it done in a timely manner. So we can only do so much. But basically, this is what we're working on in this video. It's the right-hand flipper assembly, and what we need to do is remove this spring, remove the flipper by loosening 2 Allen screws or hex screws right here. This whole little assembly right here will just come right off. Then we have to come in and start removing the stuff for the coil. Right there are 2 screws on the bottom plate to hold the bottom of the coil in. That will come off, then the coil is going to slide out, and this pin will slide out as well, the plunger. This one right here. You don't have to take every single thing off. You can if you want, but to be honest, it's just a lot easier to remove a couple things here and there, like the coil itself, the spring, and whatnot, and then just clean up or replace whatever you want to. I will let you know, I will be replacing the sleeve in the coil, because this is a flipper. And the flipper gets, in my opinion, the most abuse on an entire pinball machine, even more than a thumper bumper or a pop bumper, whatever you want to call them. And then we're also replacing the bushing for the flipper itself. I already checked and the bushings are actually fine. I could just clean them, but since I'm going to go through the work, I'm going to replace these too. Alright, so what I'm going to do is go ahead and get you set up on the tripod, and we're going to get this thing torn apart here. Alright, so we'll be right back. Alrighty, so you're all set up on the tripod now. I apologize for the rough viewing here, but my wife's not out here to actually be my camera lady, so we have to do whatever we can to make it just work. The very first step we need to do is just go ahead and remove the spring right here. I always remove the part of the spring that's attached to the actual flipper. Now, I don't know if I have these springs. I have to look through all my parts and see if I actually do or not. I actually don't think I do, so I may have to reuse them, unfortunately. That might be the only thing we can't replace. The end of stroke switches here are actually in really good shape. They just need a little bit of cleaning on the contacts. There's no reason to replace them when just a little cleaning is all they need. But anyway, let's get the flipper out next. We're going to need our Allen to break these loose, and then take these hex screws or Allen screws out of here. So we'll break that loose there. Don't worry, when I put the flipper back in, I'll show you guys how we line the flipper back up so it has proper playfield play kind of thing. You'll see what I mean when we get to it. Alright, take my shorter one so I can hopefully start to spin these. They're on pretty tight in the beginning, so it takes a little bit of an oomph to get them off. That one's being a bugger, I can tell you that much right now. Make me have to work for it to get this one off. Okay, let's see how this one is. Yeah, that one's going to be a bugger for me too. Sometimes they come right out, sometimes they're a little bit of a pain in the butt. Okay. There we go. So there's that part right there. Oh, there we go. There it is. And then we just pull the flipper right through. There was something on the other side of it. I don't know what. Oh, I know what. Ha! It's a good thing we're replacing the bushings, because guess what, y'all? See if I can't get that in camera for y'all. Let's see here. There we go. The top of the bushing broke off. So that bushing's been broken this whole time. So that's a good thing we're going to replace it. Alright. Now that that's out, we're going to go ahead and take the 2 hex screws that hold the bottom plate on for our coil. So we'll get those removed real quick. Oh, wait a minute here. That screw is smaller. This one's a bigger one. Alright, so we'll get this one. We'll use our other one to get the other screw out of there. And of course, it's going to be a pain in the butt for me too. There we go. So there's that screw. That's out. Now we'll move on to the next one down here. Very inconvenient they decided to use 2 different screws. I'm pretty sure it wasn't a factory thing. It had to have been somebody who was fixing it at a location. A vendor did whatever they could to continue making money. That's part of it. Another really long screw to get out of here. Okay, there's that one. And we pull the bottom plate out. And the coil and everything else comes right out with that. So we'll take our plunger out. We'll set that to the side for cleaning. The sleeve comes out. The sleeve's going to get thrown away because we don't need it anymore. We have a new one. Now from here, we're going to go ahead and remove the bushing. Everything else is nice and tight in here. We'll clean all this and polish the end of stroke switch like I said, but other than that, this one's going to be pretty easy to slap back together. So we'll get these taken out here and get a new bushing put in. So there's that one, and so on. Alright, and as you can see, oh, there it is, it's broken. So we need a new bushing regardless. It's a good thing I got a bunch of bushings. I get them from, let's see here, Marco Specialties. There they are. Those are the bushings I get. These are Bally flipper bushings. Alright, they're for the early Bally machines, like the early 80s to mid to late 80s, somewhere in that era. And those are only for the flippers, by the way. I can't use these bushings for anything else. So, remember that. Alright, now since that's all completely done, I'm going to go through and I'm going to clean all this up with a little bit of simple green, some rags and whatnot. Polish up the end of stroke switch contact. I'm not going to film that. It's pretty straightforward. Take a piece of paper towel, spray on a little bit of simple green, clean her up, put it all back together. Boom, you're done. Alright guys, we'll be right back for the, assembly. Alright guys, well, I had to redo this clip, so I had to take all this stuff back out because, unfortunately, in the process of filming, putting this back together, I knocked my camera over, thinking that everything would be fine, so I just set it back up. And then once I got it over to the computer, I realized, for some reason, the whole clip was gone. So, we're going to start this over from scratch. As you saw before, the original bushing is broken. So, we're going to put in a brand new bushing. Just so you know, you see how the screws are already preformed inside here? The holes inside this bushing are just large enough for the screw to go through, so it kind of threads through the bushing. And if you're curious on what I'm using, I get these from Marco. Let's see if I can't get a good image for you. And these are actually bushing flipper Bally early. So it's going to be kind of like, I don't know, 80, 82 era to like 86, maybe 88. So somewhere in that area. I don't know the exact dates, but yeah, it works. So either way, you get these threaded through partially. Get one of them to kind of pop through the bushing a little bit so you can, helps you line these up a little. So we'll get this all set up here. Alright, then we'll get that in there. And that one there. Okay. Now just remember, don't tighten them down all the way. Get them partially tight, and then when you get on your last one, go ahead and tighten them up. Don't over tighten them, just make it, you know, pretty snug where it's not going to wiggle around, the screw won't come loose from all the vibrations. This is just like plastic or nylon. You really don't want to over crank them, you'll crack it, and then you'll be replacing the bushing right away. Alright, so there we go, bushing's in place. Now the next thing is putting in the coil and the plunger for the flipper. Now, I already went ahead and put in the brand new sleeve. It's pretty simple, just goes right in. And then from here, take your plunger, and your plunger is going to go in. Largest diameter goes into the coil. The smallest diameter is going to come up through this pin right here. So feed that through, just like so. Alright, now we also want to get that bushing inside the coil lined up with this upper bracket hole so it stays in place. Now in this process of putting in the bottom plate, you want to make sure you hold this plunger because it'll go all the way through the coil. So get that snapped up in there. And go ahead and start getting these screws threaded in. There's that one.
And we'll get the next one in there. There it is. And find the screw.
Okay, so that's in place. And it seems to be working just fine. Now I know you're probably wondering why I'm not going to be putting in this piece here with the flipper. And that's just because we still have to clean and touch up the upper playfield. So we'll be doing that later on. I'll show you how to adjust the flippers and all that so you don't have to worry. But that's it. It's been rebuilt. I already cleaned the stroke switch here. Again, you can replace them. They're cheap. But if the contacts are actually really good, they're just a little dirty, just save yourself a few bucks. Clean them. I did order some new return springs because even though these are the original and they're still strong, I kind of want to replace them anyway. It's going to be a while till they get in. Once they're in though, I'll try to remember to film them, but as it speaks for right now, I don't have those. But that's pretty much it. That's how you install the flipper assembly, the new bushing, and the flipper bushing and the coil bushing. So now that's done, I'm going to go ahead and cut away, and the next time you see me, we're going to be working on the playfield on the top side. Alright? So you guys have a good one. We'll see you next time.